Hello, my name is Frank Christensen and I'm the coordinator of officials for IFAF Europe. In today's training tape, we're going to look at personal foul clipping. So we'll have a look at a few plays where clipping may or may not be called or should or shouldn't be called. But before we do that, let's have a look at what the rulebook and the MOFO say.
In the rulebook, we start with 251 defining clipping. Clipping is a block against an opponent in which the force of the initial contact is from behind and at or below the waist. B. The position of the blocker's head or feet does not necessarily indicate the point of the initial contact. In Rule 915, it says there shall be no clipping, and then there are exceptions. 1. Offensive players who are on the line of scrimmage at the snap within the free blocking zone legally may clip in the free blocking zone subject to the following restrictions. So there are restrictions to the exceptions. A. A player in the free blocking zone may not block an opponent with the force of the initial contact from behind and at or below the knees. So basically you can clip if you're an offensive player on the line of scrimmage in the free blocking zone, as long as you contact the opponent between the waist and the knees. So in the thigh area is where you can legally clip. In the MOFO, we go to 334 that says to call clipping, you need to see two things. 1. The blocker's last stride before the contact, so you are fairly certain you know which direction he came from. And 2, you need to have seen the opponent he hit before the block so that you know whether the opponent turned his back or not. So basically, you must see the point of initial contact. Remember that contact to the side is legal. See the entire act. Now, contact to the side may be legal in the context of clipping. It could be an illegal low block, but that's a whole different rule and a whole different training tape. So that was the book. Now let's have a look at some game film. In this first play, we're going to have a look at the center who's coming out and initiating contact with the middle linebacker there. And this is clearly from behind. It's below the waist, probably even below the knee. So even in the tackle box, this would have been a personal foul for clipping. So well done by the umpire to move around and spot this and get the flag down. Here we're going to look at the near guard, A69, and he's going to come out here. Now he's certainly outside of the tackle box in the free blocking zone. So here he is, whether this is a low block or a clipping, enforcement wise it doesn't make any difference. Here it does look like he's coming from behind, but it also looks like he's actually hitting above the waist. So had this been in the free blocking zone, this would have been a legal block, but here outside, obviously this is low and it's a dangerous block, and either the umpire or maybe even the deep wing would be able to pick this up. Back judge might have a say. Center judge, referee, whoever is on this side could have a look at this. Bottom line is this is a nasty block that we need to catch. In play 3, we're looking at the near tackle who's going to engage a linebacker. So he's coming up there and then he's going to go. He probably tried to get in front. That really didn't work. And again, even if this had been a 3 o'clock block, it would have been illegal. It would have been a foul, but here it certainly does look like he gets him from behind, and this would be an umpire call. Could also be a back judge call. Could also be a backside wing cleanup call. Bottom line is that we need to call this, but let's have a look at this play also from the end zone. From this angle, we're looking at the tackle on the left side of the screen, and he's going to engage, as you can see, B43. And here it's also fairly obvious that this block is actually from behind, and this is not a side block, which in this case would also be illegal, but here it is a clipping. On this play, initially we're looking at the near tackle, and he's going to do this right there. And it certainly looks from here, if we freeze it right here, it looks like the contact is from behind, and I think this is low enough that it is below the waist, making it a clipping foul. And this would, this is a 7-man crew. This would probably fall on the backside wing to call this. And on a side note, let's say these blocks, so there's this one here and then there's the other one closer to the quarterback. Let's say they're both from the side. Now, whether or not these are illegal peelback blocks would depend on whether or not the quarterback ever leaves the pocket. So we're in position 5 right now, and then he moves there. Is this outside of the pocket? I'm not sure that it is. And now he's still inside the pocket. So even with this, or we would need the end zone shot or the referee's angle to see if he actually left the tackle box. But if he didn't, then these are actually legal low blocks, even though they are towards Team A's end line, and they are 3 o'clock blocks. But certainly the first one we would want called for a clipping. Here we're looking at the receiver at the top of the screen, and right away, you know, this is the break in the hand. This is where the deep wing really needs to keep an eye on it, because what is he going to do? Typically, they will do a crackback block, is what we're looking for. But here, that certainly is a very poor attempt of getting in front of the cornerback to block him. So an excellent job done by this deep wing to stick with his key, stick with his receiver, and catch this personal foul clipping. This last play, we're looking at the right tackle, and this is actually a situation where it looks really bad, but I believe that this is a legal block. This is not a foul because he is in the free blocking zone, and the force of the contact happens at the thigh level. And if we remember, the rule says that you can actually go low behind an opponent in the free blocking zone if you make sure that you do it above the knees, which I think he does here. So this would be an example of a nasty but legal block. Then that was the training tape, and I hope you found something you can use on the field.